3 days after the fight, Victoria sat in a learning room with Dr. Kellen. He was a Vorth, a species that looked like a mix between bird and human. His head was sharp and intelligent. His eyes missed nothing. "You did something unusual," Kellen said. He was looking at images of the fight. They played on a dark screen in front of them. K-Thresh is a trained fighter. He has beaten cadets from 5 different species. "But you beat him." "I did not beat him," Victoria said. "I just moved better." "Yes," Kellen said. He turned to look at her. "That is exactly what I mean. Movement. Adaptation. This is not something we see from other species." He played the fight again. This time, he stopped it and showed different parts. "Look here," Kellen said. He pointed at when K-Thresh attacked with his laser blade. K-Thresh follows a pattern. Crystal species are very smart, but they are also very logical. They plan their moves ahead of time. They do not change while fighting. Victoria watched herself move on the screen. She was not thinking about moving. She was just moving. "But you," Kellen continued, "you change your plan for every attack. When K-Thresh comes from the left, you go right. When he goes high, you go low. When he gets tired, you speed up. You are reading him. You are living in the moment. That is different." "That is how my grandfather taught me," Victoria said. "He said that you cannot plan for everything. The world changes too fast. You have to see what is happening and change with it." Kellen turned off the screen. "On Earth, everything changes fast. Weather, predators, other humans. Your species learned to adapt because you had to. Other species did not have to. They became very good at one thing, but very bad at many things." Victoria had never heard anyone explain it this way before. "I want to show you something," Kellen said. He stood up and walked to a door. "Come with me." They walked through the white hallways of the academy. They went down into a lower level where Victoria had never been before. The air was colder here. The walls were made of metal instead of plastic. Kellen stopped at a door marked with symbols Victoria could not read. "This is the strategy room," he said. He opened the door with a code. Inside was a large table with a map of space on it. It showed star systems and planets. It showed ships and military bases. Kellen touched the table and zoomed in on a region of space that was far away. 3 months ago, a new species began attacking our outer colonies, Kellen said. "They are called the Vex. They are insectoid. Very fast, very strong, very organized. They kill everything in their path. We have sent military forces. We have sent ships with weapons that cost billions of credits. And we are losing." Victoria looked at the map. Red areas marked where the Vex had attacked. The red was spreading like a sickness across the galaxy. "The Council does not know what to do," Kellen said. "They have ships that are bigger, weapons that are stronger, soldiers from species that are more powerful. But the Vex keep coming, and we keep losing. Why are you telling me this?" Victoria asked. "Because I think humans might be the answer," Kellen said. "Not because you are stronger, but because you are different. You solve problems in ways that other species do not even think about." He played a recording of a fight between Vex soldiers and a Korvac military unit. The Korvac were armored and huge. The Vex were smaller, but there were many of them. The Korvac fought the way they always fought. They pushed forward. They used their size and strength. The Vex surrounded them. The Korvac could not turn fast enough to fight enemies on all sides. They could not adapt their plan. They could not change what they were doing. They just kept doing the same thing until they fell. "They are not stupid," Kellen said. "They are just specialized. They are very good at one kind of fighting. But when the fight changes, they break." Victoria watched the recording over and over. She could see what Kellen meant. The Korvac did not see the trap. They did not change their plan. They just got slower and slower until they could not fight anymore. "What do you want me to do?" Victoria asked. "I want you to train," Kellen said. "I want you to teach other humans to fight like you fight. I want to bring humans into the military. Real positions. Not support. Not helper. Real soldiers." Victoria did not answer for a long time. "The council will not allow it," she said. "No," Kellen agreed. "They will not. But Admiral Sarth will. He's losing battles. He will try anything. And if humans win, the council will have to accept us." A door opened behind them. A tall Korvac walked in. His armor was dark and heavy. His eyes were dark and serious. This was Admiral Sarth. "Dr. Kellen has told you about the Vex," Sarth said. It was not a question. "Yes," Victoria said. "I am offering you a choice," Sarth said. "You can stay here and finish your training as a normal cadet. You can have a safe job. You can do what the council expects. Or you can do something dangerous. You can help me train the first human military unit in galaxy history. You can fight against something that kills everything it touches. You might die. You probably will die." Victoria thought about her grandfather. He had always said that being human meant doing what was hard, not what was easy. He had said that humans were only strong when they had something worth protecting. "I will do it," Victoria said. Sarth smiled. It was a small smile, but real. "Good. You start tomorrow. We will bring more humans to the station. Soldiers from Earth. People who know how to fight. You will teach them to adapt. You will teach them to think different. You will teach them to be what other species cannot be." Victoria walked back to her room that night. The station windows showed the stars outside. The red areas on the map were getting bigger every day. More colonies were being attacked. More people were dying. She thought about the wooden stick. It was just wood. It was supposed to be weak. But in her hands, it had been strong. Maybe that was what being human meant. Not being big or fast or powerful, but being able to use what you had in ways that others did not expect. That maybe humans were not weak at all. Maybe they were just underestimated. And maybe, just maybe, that was going to change everything. Victoria Shaw walked through the white hallways of Meridian Prime, the military academy floating in space. She was the only human among thousands of alien cadets. All around her, different species moved past in silence. Some had hard crystal bodies that clicked when they walked. Others had skin that glowed with heat. A few were covered in armor so thick they looked like walking walls. She carried her training uniform in one hand. Today was the weapons test. The test that would show if humans belonged here. The academy had been built by the Galactic Council 50 years ago. The council said all species were equal. But everyone knew it was a lie. The strong species got the good positions. Humans got nothing. Victoria had grown up hearing stories about Earth, the old world. A place where the sun burned too hot, where animals hunted from the sky, where storms could wipe out entire cities. Her grandfather had told her that Earth made humans different. It made them hard. It made them think fast. She did not know if he was right. The training arena was a large, circular room with white walls and a polished floor. Hundreds of seats rose up around it like a theater. Already cadets were filling the seats. They whispered to each other. A human girl was going to fight today. They wanted to see it. Commander Zix was waiting by the weapons table. He was Zirathi, which meant his body was made of hot plasma held together by pure will and technology. His skin glowed orange and red. When he moved, heat waves followed him. He had been teaching at the academy for 12 years. He did not like humans. When Victoria entered the arena, Zix looked up from the table. His eyes burned brighter. "Shaw," he said. His voice sounded like fire crackling. "Good. You are here." "Yes, Commander," Victoria said. She stood straight and waited. "Today you will fight K-Thresh," Zig said. He pointed to a young silicate cadet sitting near the weapons table. K-Thresh stood up. He was tall and made of clear crystal that caught the light. His body was hard and perfect. He had never been damaged. His people did not damage easily. "You will both choose your weapon," Zig said. K-Thresh will pick first. K-Thresh walked to the weapons table. Without thinking, he picked up a laser blade. The weapon hummed as he held it. Blue light covered the sharp edge. The blade could cut through steel. The blade could cut through bone. Then K-Thresh walked back to his side of the arena. Victoria walked to the weapons table. She looked at the choices. There were laser pistols. There were plasma whips. There were vibro knives that shook so fast they could break through armor. There were things she did not have names for. At the end of the table, far away from the real weapons, sat a wooden stick. Victoria understood what was happening. This was not a test of fighting skill. This was a test of the Council's belief. The Council believed humans were weak. Zix wanted to prove it. She picked up the wooden stick. The arena went quiet. Then all the cadets started laughing. It was not mean laughing. It was laughing like they had just seen something funny and sad at the same time. Victoria walked to her side of the arena. The stick was light in her hands. It was old oak, maybe. Brown and worn smooth by many hands before her. It was not sharp. It could not shoot anything. It was just wood. K-Thresh looked at the stick. He activated his laser blade. The blue light grew brighter. He did not look angry. He looked almost sad, like he felt bad for what he was about to do. Zix raised his hand to start the match. Victoria took a deep breath. Her grandfather had taught her many things. He taught her to move fast. He taught her to think about the other person. He taught her that the body has weak places. Every body. Even strong ones. "Begin," Zix said. K-Thresh moved forward. He was fast for something made of crystal. His laser blade came down in a wide cut. Victoria stepped to the side. The blade missed her by inches. Heat from the blade burned her face. She swung the wooden stick. It was just a test. K-Thresh brought his blade back up to block. The stick hit the flat of the blade and bounced back. K-Thresh attacked again. This time Victoria was ready. She let him come close. She could see the speed in his movements. She could see he was trying to be careful not to hurt her too much. This made it easy. When his blade came down, she turned her body to the side like her grandfather taught her. The blade cut the air where she had been. She was not there anymore. Victoria swung the stick up. It hit K-Thresh's wrist joint. It was hard, but the hit was good. K-Thresh made a sound of pain. The laser blade dropped low. K-Thresh attacked again. And again. And again. Each time he moved the same way. Each time Victoria moved out of the path. Each time she hit him in the same places. The wrist. The elbow. The shoulder where the crystal met the technology that held him together. Time passed. Victoria did not know how much. Her heart beat fast. Her body was warm. But she was breathing easy. She was not tired. K-Thresh was breathing hard. His movements were slower now. The heat from his plasma inside was getting hot. Fighting took energy for him. Fighting took thinking for him. Victoria had trained her whole life. She had trained in the gravity of Earth, a place where everything tried to kill you. She had learned to do hard things for a long time. She did not get tired easy. K-Thresh attacked one more time. It was wild and desperate. His laser blade came down fast, but not smart. Victoria moved inside his reach. She was too close for him to use the blade right. She drove the wooden stick up and forward. It hit his arm joint hard. The laser blade fell from his hand. It hit the ground and turned off. K-Thresh stood there with no weapon. His crystal body was scratched and hurt. He was breathing hard. His eyes were dim with pain. Victoria held the stick low. She waited. ZYX did not say anything for a long time. The whole arena was quiet. Nobody laughed now. K-Thresh looked at the wooden stick in Victoria's hands. Then he looked at her face. There was something in his eyes. Respect, maybe. Or understanding. Victoria lowered the stick. She offered her hand to K-Thresh. He took it. She helped him up. The arena stayed silent for one more second. Then it exploded. Cadets were on their feet. They were screaming and cheering. Some looked angry. Some looked amazed. Some looked like they were seeing something they did not understand. Victoria and K-Thresh stood in the middle of the white circle with the wooden stick between them. The light from above shone down on them both. Zix's fire burned brighter. His plasma body vibrated with anger. But he said nothing. Victoria knew her life had just changed. The Galactic Council believed humans were weak. She had just shown them they were wrong. But she did not know what would happen next. She did not know that this fight would change the whole galaxy. She did not know about the Vex that were coming. She did not know that she would need to teach other humans to fight like she fought. Right now, she only knew one thing for sure. The wooden stick in her hand was more powerful than anyone believed. The first group of human soldiers arrived on Meridian Prime on a cold morning. They came from Earth. They came from places called America and different continents. They had names like Marcus and Elena and David and Sarah. They were hard and lean. They had eyes that looked like they had seen bad things. Victoria met them in a training room that was empty except for mats and weapons. 12 humans stood in a line. They looked at her and waited. "I am Victoria Shaw," she said. "I am going to teach you how to fight like the military academy taught me. But we are not going to fight like they want us to fight. We are going to fight like humans. We are going to fight dirty. We are going to fight smart." A tall man named Marcus stepped forward. He had scars on his face. "What is different about human fighting?" he asked. "Everything," Victoria said. "Other species fight like their bodies make them fight. A crystal soldier is slow but hard. A plasma being is fast but burns out. A Korvac is strong but cannot turn quick. But humans can be everything. We can be fast and slow. We can be strong and flexible. We can be brutal and smart. We just have to learn." She showed them the recording of her fight with K-Thresh. They watched in silence. "She beat a crystal soldier with a stick," Elena said. Elena was from a desert place on Earth. She was taller than Victoria but moved like water. "Yes," Victoria said, "because the stick is not weak. It is just different." And the crystal soldier expected weapons to be in certain ways. When something is not in that way, he broke. Marcus nodded. "I understand. We fight with our brain, not just our body." "Yes," Victoria said. "Your brain is your weapon. Everything else comes after." For 3 weeks, Victoria trained the human soldiers. She taught them to move in ways that looked strange but worked. She taught them to read their opponent. She taught them to think about what the other person expected, and then do something else. She taught them the pain was just information. It was the body saying something happened. But thinking was more important than pain. If you thought faster than you felt, the pain could not slow you down. She taught them that killing was different than fighting. Sometimes you fought to prove something. Sometimes you fought to live. Sometimes you fought to protect others. You had to know which one you were doing or your brain would break. K-Thresh came to watch some of the training. He was interested in what humans were doing. He had come back to the academy after his fight with Victoria, but something had changed in him. He wanted to understand humans better. "Why do you make them practice falling?" Cathresh asked Victoria. They were watching a human soldier learn to fall and roll without breaking bones. "Because falling is part of fighting," Victoria said. "Most species try not to fall. They try to stay strong and standing. But humans know we will fall sometimes. So we learn to fall in a way that keeps us alive. We learn to use the fall. The other species see falling as failure. We see it as opportunity." Cathresh watched a human named David throw himself to the ground and roll into a fighting position. It was smooth and fast. "That is very different," Cathresh said. "On my world, we do not fall. Our crystal bodies are too hard. If we fall, we would break." "That is why you would lose to us," Victoria said. "Because you cannot imagine being broken. You cannot imagine having to fix yourself and keep fighting. But humans do it all the time. We break and we heal and we get stronger." 3 months after the training started, Victoria got a message. It came from Admiral Sarth. There was an attack. The Vex had attacked a research colony on a planet called Tertius 7. 3,000 people were there. Scientists, children, workers. Sarth wanted to send the human soldiers now. They were not fully trained. But the attack was happening right now. Victoria met with the humans in the training room. She told them the truth. "We are going to fight something we have never seen," she said. "We are going to fight something that kills everything. We are going to fight to save 3,000 people we have never met. And we are probably going to die doing it. When do we leave?" Marcus asked. "Now," Victoria said. The human soldiers boarded a fast ship. They flew through space toward Tertius 7. Victoria stood in the control room and looked at the planet on the screen. It was green and blue. There was life there. And that life was being attacked by something that wanted to kill it. As the ship got closer, they started to see the battle. There were explosions. There were Vex ships attacking from above. There was smoke covering the colony. It looked like hell, but Victoria did not feel fear. She felt something else. Something her grandfather had talked about. She felt like she was supposed to be here. She felt like humans were supposed to fight now. Like this was the moment everything changed. The ship landed and the soldiers ran out into the fire. The Vex were everything the report said. They were insectoid and covered in hard shell. They were very fast. They did not feel pain the way humans did. They came at you like a wave. Like the ocean wanted to drown you. But the humans did something no other military had done. Instead of fighting the Vex head-on, they ran. They split up. They went in different directions. The Vex did not know what to do. They expected a line of soldiers standing and fighting. They expected to be able to burn everything with their weapons. Marcus led a group into the city. They used the buildings. They made the Vex come through narrow spaces where numbers did not matter. They set fires. They made the Vex chase them in circles. Elena led another group to the civilians. Instead of fighting, she started moving people. She was moving them out of the colony, down into caves, to places the Vex did not know about. Victoria did something strange. She walked out to meet the Vex commander. She was alone. She held no weapon except a knife. The Vex commander looked at her. It was large. It had many eyes. It looked like it was trying to understand what it was seeing. "You are food?" it asked. Its voice was like insects clicking. "I am a soldier," Victoria said. "I am human. And you are not going to kill these people." The Vex commander made a sound that might have been laughing. But then something happened. Behind Victoria, the humans started to sing. It was a song from Earth. It was a song about not giving up. It was a song about fighting when things seemed lost. The Vex did not know what it was. It did not understand. The singing made it angry and confused at the same time. The human soldiers came out of the buildings. They were covered in dirt and smoke, but they were smiling. They kept singing. They kept moving. The Vex did not know how to fight something that did not break when it attacked. And then, on the sky, other ships appeared. It was Sora's fleet. The reinforcements had come. The Vex saw they were out of time. They pulled back. They ran. They left the colony. The humans had won. 3,000 people were alive because humans adapted. Because humans thought different. Because humans refused to break in the way that other species expected. When they flew back to Meridian Prime, everything was different. The Galactic Council called a meeting. They wanted to know how human soldiers had done what the best military in the galaxy could not do. Victoria had only one answer. Because we are not like you, she told the council. Because we can imagine failing and we survive it anyway. Because we do not have one way of fighting. We have many ways. And we use whatever works. The council did not like that answer. But they could not argue with the result. 3,000 people were alive. The Vex had been stopped. Humans had done it. Things in the galaxy were about to change. After the victory at Tertius 7, the Galactic Council made a decision. They would create an official human military unit. Victoria was made the leader. She was given the rank of commander. She was given more money and more soldiers to train. But the victory did not stop the Vex. The Vex kept coming. They attacked more colonies. They killed more people. The Council's traditional military fought them and lost. Ships that cost billions of credits were destroyed by insects that seemed to have no limit. Victoria trained more humans. She brought soldiers from all over Earth. She brought people who had fought in deserts and mountains and cities. She brought people who knew how to survive in the hardest places on Earth. These were the people who understood what it meant to adapt. These were the people who refused to break. K-Thresh asked to work with the humans. The council said no. Humans should work alone. But Victoria said yes. She wanted K-Thresh with her. She wanted someone who understood that species could work together. The new unit grew to 100 soldiers. Then 200. Then 500. They trained in the arena. They trained in the city. They trained in space. They learned to work together in ways that other militaries did not. And then the biggest attack came. The Vex attacked the industrial colony at Station Black. There were 10,000 people there. But more important, there was a factory that made weapons for the Galactic Council. If the Vex took the station, they could use the factory. They could make weapons. They could build an army that would be unstoppable. Admiral Sareth called Victoria. His face looked tired on the screen. "I am sending you everything," he said. "All 500 of your soldiers. I'm sending them now. You have 18 hours before the Vex arrive. You have to hold the station." "We will hold it," Victoria said. The human soldiers landed on Station Black. It was a massive place. Hundreds of buildings. Factories and living spaces and storage units. Tunnels under the ground. Rooms that could hold 10,000 people. It was too big to defend with 500 soldiers. But Victoria did not try to defend it the way the council wanted her to. She did not put soldiers at the walls. She did not make them stand and fight in the open. Instead, she mapped the station. She studied every building, every hallway, every room. She understood the station like it was a body. "The Vex will come in here," she said to her commanders, pointing to a map. "They will think they have to take the main entrance. They will think we are here to stop them. So we let them come this way. We pull back. We make them think they are winning." Marcus looked at the map. "And they will spread out?" "Yes," Victoria said. They will spread all through the station. They will separate their forces. And then we take them apart, piece by piece. That is risky, Elena said. If anything goes wrong, we are done. Everything goes wrong, Victoria said. We just have to survive it better than they do. The Vex arrived in the morning. Their ships came down like fire. They landed all around the station. Thousands of Vex soldiers poured out. They had weapons that burned and cut. They had armor that was hard to break. They came forward like a wave of insects. The human soldiers did not fight them at the entrance. They were not there. Instead, humans appeared in the city, in the buildings, in the tunnels. The Vex had to chase them. They had to spread out to find them. Victoria had studied the station's power system. Under her orders, humans went into the machines. They shut down power to certain areas. The Vex came into darkness. They came into cold. They came into places where their weapons did not work right because the Vex weapons needed heat to run. Marcus led a group to the factory. He did not try to stop the Vex from entering. Instead, he opened the storage units. The factory made weapons. It made ammunition. It made things that could explode. Marcus opened everything. Then he and his soldiers left. The Vex came into the factory. They came looking for supplies to take. And they walked into a trap of their own supplies. When the explosions came, half of the Vex military unit was destroyed. Elena was in the living spaces. There were families hiding in the walls and under the floors. She was moving them. She was saving them. The Vex wanted to kill them, but Elena moved like wind. They could never catch her. They could never reach the people she was protecting. But something went wrong. A Vex commander found Victoria in the central command room. This was the highest Vex officer. It was larger than the others. It had scars from 100 battles. It was old and smart and dangerous. The commander came at Victoria with a blade that was bigger than her whole body. She had her knife. Just her knife. Nothing else. The Vex commander expected the human to run. But Victoria moved into the attack. She was small and fast. The blade came down, and she was not there. She came up under the commander's arm and drove her knife into a weak spot in the armor. The Vex commander made a sound like pain. It came at her again. This time faster. This time with anger. Victoria moved like her grandfather had taught her. She moved like the water moves around rocks. She did not fight the commander's strength. She used it. When the commander swung the blade, Victoria moved in a direction it did not expect. When the commander tried to grab her, she was already gone. K-Thresh appeared from the shadows. He had found his way into the command room. He was holding a laser weapon. He shot at the Vex commander. The commander ran. It knew it was being beaten. It knew the humans were winning. It called to its soldiers to retreat. The Vex started to pull back from the station. When it was over, Victoria stood in the command room and breathed hard. Her arm was cut. Her uniform was torn. But she was alive. K-Thresh came to her. "You fought well," he said. "We fought well," Victoria said. "Both of us." The Vex left Station Black. They left 500 soldiers dead on the ground. The humans had 3 soldiers killed. 3 dead out of 500. It was a miracle, but it was not a miracle. It was something else. It was humans doing what humans could do. It was humans fighting with their brain and their heart, and their understanding of how to live when everything was trying to kill them. Admiral Sorath came to the station. He walked through the streets and saw what humans had done. He saw the destroyed Vex. He saw the 10,000 people who were alive because humans had protected them. He looked at Victoria and he smiled. "You have changed everything," he said. "The Council cannot ignore this. Humans are not support units anymore. Humans are the future of the galaxy's defense. Victoria thought about the wooden stick. It was back at the academy now. It was on a wall. It was on a wall. It was a symbol. It was proof that something weak could be strong if you understood how to use it. She thought about Earth. She thought about all the humans who had died making that planet into a place where humans could survive. All those deaths meant something now. All that suffering meant something. Because now humans had a place in the galaxy. Now humans could protect others. Now humans were not weak. They were just different. And different was stronger than anyone believed. 6 months after the station was saved, Victoria stood in the Great Hall of the Galactic Council. It was the biggest room she had ever seen. It was so large that her voice seemed small when she talked. The walls were made of clear material that showed the stars outside. 50 different species sat in chairs that rose up in circles around the room. Victoria wore her military dress uniform. It was blue and black with symbols that meant she was a commander. She carried the wooden stick. It was polished now. It gleamed under the lights. But it was still just a stick. The head of the council was a being called Prime Speaker Thal. Thal was very old. Thal had lived for 200 years. Thal had seen many empires rise and fall. "Victoria Shaw," Thal said. His voice came from every speaker in the room. "You have been chosen to receive the Medal of Collective Defense. This is the highest honor that the Galactic Council can give to a soldier. You have protected not just humans, but all the species represented here. You have shown us that we were wrong about the value of your kind. We were wrong about humanity." Victoria felt the weight of all those eyes looking at her. The crystal beings, the plasma beings, the armored ones, the ones made of energy, the ones that looked like nothing she had ever seen before. They all looked at her. "Thank you," Victoria said. "But I did not do this alone. I worked with K-Thresh, who is silicate. I worked with humans who came from Earth. I worked with your soldiers and your commanders. Together we beat the Vex. Together we saved lives. Alone, none of us could have done it." Prime Speaker Thal came down from his seat. He was very tall when he stood. He came to Victoria and he put something around her neck. It was the medal. It was made of material that caught the light and turned it into colors. It was beautiful and it was heavy. "The Council has made a decision," Thal said. "We are creating a new military division. It will be called the Human Corps. Humans will not be support units. Humans will not be helpers. Humans will be the front line. Humans will be where we send soldiers when all other options have failed. Because you are different. Because you adapt. Because you refuse to break the way we break." The whole council began to make sounds of agreement. It was like thunder in the Great Hall. "More than that," Thal continued, "we are requiring that all young soldiers from all species must study human tactics. You have something we do not have. You have flexibility. You have the ability to think sideways. We want to learn." Victoria held the wooden stick up. "This stick saved my life," she said. "Not because it was powerful, but because my opponent expected power in certain ways. When he did not find it, he did not know what to do. That is the human advantage. We do not have to be the strongest or the fastest or the hardest. We have to be the most different. We have to think in ways that no one expects." She looked out at all the different species. "On Earth, we have a saying," Victoria said. "It comes from a very old book. It says that the meek shall inherit the earth. Meek does not mean weak. It means humble. It means not proud. It means willing to learn from everyone and everything. Humans are meek, but we are not weak. We inherit not because we are strong, but because we are flexible. We change. We adapt. We survive." The council made more sounds. Some were happy. Some sounded like they did not like the idea, but none of them could argue with the facts. After the ceremony, Kthresh came to Victoria. He had asked to be made deputy commander of the human corps. The council had agreed. He was the first non-human to hold such a position. "You will change the galaxy," Kthresh said. "This is a big responsibility." "I know," Victoria said. "I am scared. What if I make a mistake? What if humans die because I made the wrong choice?" "Then you will learn," Kthresh said. "That is what humans do. You learn from everything, even from failing. We learn to stay the same. You learn to be different." Victoria smiled. "Will you help me?" "Always," Kthresh said. 1 month later, Victoria was back at the academy where she had fought Kthresh with the wooden stick. But everything was different now. The arena had been changed. They had made it bigger. They had added more training areas. Now humans and aliens trained together. Silicate soldiers learned how to move their bodies in unexpected ways. Zirathi warriors learned how to adapt their heat to solve problems instead of just burning everything. Korvuk soldiers learned how to be flexible. Vorath strategists learned how to think sideways, and young humans learned discipline. They learned respect. They learned that strength was not everything. They learned from every species what made them special. And they tried to become more like that while staying themselves. Victoria stood in the center of the training floor. Around her were 100 cadets. Half were human. Half were from other species. They had come to learn the first lesson of the human course. They had come to learn about adaptation. She held the wooden stick. "This is the symbol of our training," Victoria said. "A wooden stick beat a laser blade. Weak beat strong. Unexpected beat expected. In the coming time, you will learn that the most dangerous thing is something that does not follow the rules you understand. So I am going to teach you to be dangerous. I'm going to teach you to be so different that your enemies do not understand you." A young human boy raised his hand. "Will we have to fight with sticks too?" Victoria smiled. "Maybe, or maybe with blades. Or maybe with nothing but our mind. The point is not the weapon. The point is understanding that there are 1,000 ways to win. The other species have been fighting the same way for thousands of years. We will teach you to be something they have never seen." She looked at all the young soldiers. "By the time you finish this training, you will not be human anymore. You will not be silicate anymore. You will not be what your species was before. You will be something new. You will be a soldier of the unified corps. You will be taught by the best humans in the galaxy. And you will go out and protect people who do not know your name. You will do it because it is the right thing. And you will do it because you are different. And different is what the galaxy needs now." The young soldiers roared. They screamed and cheered. They were excited and scared and ready to learn. Victoria walked to the edge of the arena. On the wall was a piece of metal. It was a frame. Inside the frame was the wooden stick. Below was writing that said, "The first tool of victory." A reminder that strength takes many forms. Every year, a new name was added to that frame. The name of a cadet from any species who had completed the training with honor. It did not matter what species they were. It did not matter where they came from. If they finished, their name went on that wall. Victoria thought about her grandfather. She thought about all the stories he had told her about Earth. She thought about how he had said that humans were made to survive in the hardest places. She thought about how that had been true. But she had learned something new. Humans were not made just to survive. Humans were made to adapt. Humans were made to change. Humans were made to be different from everyone else and to be strong because of that difference. The Vex were still out there. They were still attacking. But now they faced an enemy they did not understand. They faced humans. They faced species that had learned from humans how to be flexible. They faced an enemy that would not break in the ways they expected. The galaxy was changing. And it was changing because one human girl had been given a wooden stick. She had taken that stick and she had shown everyone that weakness could be strength. That different could beat the same. That the meek could inherit the universe. In the Great Hall of the Galactic Council, a new law was passed. From this day forward, humans would be recognized as one of the strongest species in the galaxy. Not because they were big or fast or hard, but because they were different. Because they could adapt. Because they refused to break the way everyone else broke. The wooden stick remained on the wall of the academy, and every young soldier who saw it understood something important. Understanding that being different was not a curse. It was a gift. It was a power that no amount of strength or speed or armor could ever take away. Victoria Shaw walked through the hallways of the academy that night. All around her, humans and aliens trained together. They fought together. They learned together. They built something new together. And she knew that the galaxy would never be the same. The meek had inherited the universe. And they had done it with a wooden stick and a refusal to accept that they were weak, because they had never been weak at all. They had just never been understood.